G'day and welcome to Beersies. Today we're going to be trying a few relatively new beers from esteemed New Zealand breweries Renaissance, House of Nicholas, which is a collaboration between Epic and Hop Federation, and also just out of shot here, Croucher from Rotorua. First up we'll look at Renaissance. So these guys have been around on the scene for quite a few years now. Brewing royalty really, Andy Dukas, come over from California. And the one we're looking at today is a barrel-aged beer, aged in brandy barrels for a year. The base beer is a chocolate oatmeal stout called Craftsman, one of my favourite beers in their range. It doesn't pour with a very large head, nice and dark, as you can see, big chocolatey, roasty looking head on that there. Now, because this has been aged in brandy barrels for a year, you're getting big oak flavours off the nose, liberal amounts of brandy as well. It's actually back blended with more stout and a whole lot more cocoa nibs and I believe actual chocolate, don't quote me on that. But that is fantastic nose, I can just sit there and smell that all day really. Very smooth, even smoother than the regular Craftsman, which is, like I said, one of my favourite beers from these guys. It's a little bit different to what most people may be used to. I mean, the brandy really does come through, I find. And it's quite soft on the back of the mouth, very soft mouthfeel. Very drinkable, a lot of flavour for that 5.5% that it's rated as. So that first one is the barrel-aged stout, so from Renaissance.
So you can definitely smell.
Yeah, big on the oaks. I mean, I presume you drink wine as well and drink oak Chardonnays. You got to have some sort of underlying oak notes coming through, sort of vanilla-y sort of notes as well. And these guys are really starting a fairly significant barrel aging program. 8 Wide up in Auckland are the most foremost proponents of it. They got hundreds of barrels, probably more than anyone else put together in New Zealand. The range of flavours that comes through from barrel aging, it just gives it a whole lot more.
Definitely taste that spirit almost type flavour of the barrel there, the rum.
I think it's one of the nicest stouts I've had, to be honest. Yeah, really. It's not too chocolatey is what I like about it. Yeah,
it's so smooth.
Yeah, I prefer it smooth.
Next up we've got House of Nicholas. Most of you would have heard of Epic out of Auckland and maybe Hop Federation as well from Riwaka up in the Nelson area. So this is a much more malt-driven style of beer. With it being Epic and Hop Federation, you're going to expect a lot of hops in there as well, but it's a lovely sort of orangey colour coming through there and a reasonably white head on there, and definite hop notes coming through, although lots of toffee, caramel coming through from the malt as well. It's not a style I usually drink a lot of, especially on the gas taps, but I really do enjoy this beer and it's been quite a good seller here as well. And again, you're going to be expecting those sort of toffee, marmalade notes coming through. Those are sort of flavours you're getting from the malted barley. A lovely sessionable beer, very tasty and quite accessible for people that are coming from a more mainstream beer background as well. A lot of mainstream beers in New Zealand not overly hoppy, so it's not going to attack the taste buds too much. So the next one is the House of Nicholas ESB.
Yeah, it's sort of fruity there.
It's a lot more sessionable, even though this is lower in alcohol. There's that perception people have of dark beers that can sort of put you off sometimes, but it's a nice session beer, this one.
Definitely is refreshing, I think.
Yeah. What are sort of the main flavours you get coming through there?
It's not too malty though, is it? I don't think it's overpowering in any way. It's quite, a friendly taste.
It's a very well balanced beer.
You can taste that malt, but it doesn't, like often with malt beers I have a very strong, usually it's a very strong, heavy, bitter flavour in my mouth, but this doesn't have it, sort of washes it away.
That'll be more likely the hops. I mean, the malt usually attributes body sweetness. You're going to get bitterness from different malted grains as well, but sort of depends.
It's nice.
And the third beer we're going to be looking at today is the Croucher Lowrider. Croucher are based up in Rotorua, and as all of you will be well aware, only too well aware, some people living out in rural areas have had a change in the drink driving laws just about this time last year. So a lot of demand for sub 3% beers these days. Croucher Lowrider comes in at 2.7, though I believe they're looking at dropping that down a little bit further again. In my opinion, by far and away the best low alcohol beer on the market at the moment, and we have it on fairly regularly here at the Hop, although we have brewed our own one recently which I think is pretty top notch as well. They'll be on tap shortly. Problem with having a low alcohol beer is, well, less fermentable sugar from the malted barley, so a lot of time you end up with quite a thin beer, some would say tasteless, so the challenge is getting a lot of full flavour from the beer without increasing the alcohol level. Some people put a whole lot more hops in it, that tends to mess with the balance, so that's what makes it quite hard to do. What I really like about the Luata being a bit of a hop fan myself, it's got a fantastic nose, big, punchy, fruity, like fruit bowl nose to it. But on tasting it, it's not particularly bitter. Some people may still find it reasonably bitter coming from like a Heineken Light or a Spates Mid sort of background, something like that. But the balance is perfect. There's still plenty of malt character coming through as well. I find I drink a fair bit of this just because I like the taste of it. It's just a fantastic beer to drink. Even after those two much stronger beers you just tried, I think you'll agree the flavour of this really comes through, really shines through.
It smells so fruity.
Yeah, that smells really
It's
fruity.
got a fantastic nose on
What
it.
does it remind me of? That's
Tropical fruit salad or?
something.
Yeah.
There's like an ice block or something.
Like almost like a cordial.
Yeah, it's already got you in the mood for sort of relaxing and chilling
Yeah.
and just,
Yeah.
Good summer
That's
summer drink.
amazing. I didn't even know beer could smell like that. I almost feel like this. It's like a mango passion fruit. That's nice.
We're pretty renowned in New Zealand for our aroma hops having those tropical fruit flavours, passion fruit, gooseberry from Nelson Sauvin, yeah, all that sort of stuff coming through that is really well sought after overseas. We export the large majority, something like 95% of our hops.
So this is a light beer.
It's a light beer, 2.7%.
Would you say that's your favourite out of the three?
Oh yeah, I'd actually say it is, to be honest.
It's a really easy beer to bridge to other things too. So we find that even though it's a low alcohol beer, a lot of people coming from a more conventional background will jump on that first because it's really like the taste. So.
It's just fascinating, that smell and then the flavour though. It smells so tropical and you kind of get the flavour, but it just tastes like beer though.
Well, I hope it tastes like beer.
Yeah, it's just, it's very pleasant.
I don't know what these guys do to get so much flavour out of such a low alcohol beer, and it's got a lot of people sort of scratching their heads / going, well done, because it's just by far and away the best one out there, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a few very, very close, and we do cycle through a few, but that's the one we have on the most.